The story starts with the background of the main character being revealed to us. When he was young, his family was tragically killed by monsters, causing him to vow to become an adventurer. The scene of a young boy witnessing the death of his parents at the hands of the wolves, both frightening and heartbreaking, and it is what drives him to want to protect others and fight for their lives. In this world, people receive powers from the gods to fight monsters, called skills, which usually manifest at the age of 12. The goal of adventurers is to reach the S rank and protect the innocent by defeating monsters, and the boy wants to be one of these heroes and receive the glory and honor that comes with it. He even prays to God for strength to fulfill his dream, but his prayers are not answered as he had hoped. Upon discovering his own skill, he runs to the abbot in excitement, only to be told that it is a worthless and disposable skill, not suitable for adventuring. The story then jumps forward in time to show us a grown-up young man, who is trailing behind a red-haired guy while carrying a backpack. The red-haired guy is impatient with him, saying that he hired someone who was not skilled on purpose so he could make him useful. The young man's skill is resurrection, which can only be activated when he is close to death, making it useless for adventurers. Despite not being able to fulfill his childhood dream, he still works as a helper for adventurers, even though he is considered a 6. He is proud of what he is doing for his country, despite being talked about by others, including the red-haired guy and his own sister, who has more magical potential. Suddenly, a small monster jumps at the red-haired guy, but he quickly uses the skill of flaming armor, raising his sword which ignites with red flames. A bandana-wearing man who appears to be a companion, uses the superhero ability to throw a hammer. Demons are tricky to outsmart, but they are nothing when attacked directly. Additionally, he shouts to the man to get his attention so that he ultimately consents to collect the capture from their prey because it is rather a minor matter for them. After Chrome tries to imply that if they travel farther, away from the intended route, it won't be possible to turn around. However, the obstinate heroes refuse to pay attention to him, and the red-haired one begs to stop talking altogether, making it apparent that he has no desire to speak with the guide general. Before Chrome notices that someone's saliva drop is falling from the ceiling, they have already moved deeper. Cannibals. They then engage the cannibals in combat after that. As there are more and more foes, Ash keeps swinging his sword, but nothing comes of it. The beasts are obviously too hungry. The main character eventually resolves to use his own small knife to kill the cannibals, but he is too weak to succeed. The man is suddenly shoved in the back as he turns his head, and because he was standing close to the abyss, he immediately drops to the ground with only one hand on the ledge, the smiling swordsman watching him fall. While wishing him luck for using the skill, the hero taunts him by telling him that if he dies, nothing bad would happen. Then, the hero flees with a companion. His legs are immediately covered in cannibal tentacles, which dredge him away. Even if he is resurrected, he needs assistance to survive. His body is ripped apart by cannibals as soon as he falls. Was he intended to pass away in such a painful way? Before my eyes, the world is vanishing. A window then appears indicating that the skill has been successfully enabled. After eventually waking up, Chrome must figure out how to survive in the monster's den. When he tries to stand up, he realizes that all that is left of his body are the bones. There are no remaining tissues, skin, or organs. In a panic, a person can't even speak. A skill window that lists him as a lich, an evil soul that was revived by evil magic and resides in the bones of the dead. A walking corpse, to put it simply. The abbot informed him that although the skill resurrection is extremely uncommon, an adventurer can do nothing with it. He ended up being just as useless as he had been. What use is this body, which resembles a corpse? He desired to protect his nation. Even though he gave up his personal security, his allies ultimately abandoned him. Perhaps his sister was right to abandon him because it was too risky, as she claimed. If you're fortunate enough to develop a powerful skill at birth, you can become the best adventurer. However, the man soon became highly motivated when he realized that monsters also undergo evolution. As they advance in level, they become stronger and even change their appearance. Even while he currently only has a monster-like appearance, Perhaps he can also develop into an S-rank adventurer. He can still attempt even though the lychees are weak. Additionally, due to his look, common monsters believe that he is already dead and only needs to investigate his surroundings. Chrome even kills a higher level goblin while acting like he's already passed out, increasing his own score from 1-3. He won't pass away any longer, especially since the 5th will mark the start of transformation. He uses the same strategy to kill a low slug, pretending to be dead and attacking. However, he soon sits down next to the wall, reasoning that the body does not require food or sleep, but that if Chrome ceases sleeping, he will completely lose his humanity. He also lost all sense of time while he was in the dungeon. I'm unsure if Carmi, his sister, is even concerned about him. Usually, the female didn't mind if he went missing for a few days. Chrome makes the decision to change his way of thinking and makes plans to fight the level 7 Red Eye by acting like he's dead once more. He can learn about his habits if the Lick observes him a little. He recognizes that this is his domain in this way. He therefore poses as being dead close to the bag so that he will believe there is food nearby. As a result, he manages to strike the wolf multiple times before falling off the cliff with him, and killing him there, which causes him to finally advance in level and become into a ghoul. Its qualities have changed significantly, and the top level has been raised to 20. Moreover, he received skill regeneration. In the end, he had the chance to regain his masculinity, and then to become the bravest explorer. The person attacks the creature once more, but as he is hurt in the process, he learns that using a sword with ghoulish claws is entirely awkward and switches to hand-to-hand battle. The amount of the murder steadily increases, and the body starts to crave food. He is unable to give up even the cloak of the filthy monster rat, in spite of his internal disdain. 3 days later, Chrome raises its level even further, reaching 14. Because of regeneration, the man is no longer concerned about his health or exhaustion during the fight. He still does not feel sleepy, perhaps as a result of the odd racial characteristic. The ghoul is now stronger than he was previously, which allowed him to easily advance to a new level. The guy soon sits down again to reflect on the past. She and her sister used to be really close, but over the past few years, they have lost all contact. Because of his skill, he never became an adventurer. He had to work as a guide for pennies, which made it impossible to provide for his family at all. But Carmia was able to awaken her magic skill and become an adventurer. At one point, she even called him a weakling who clings to a ridiculous childhood dream and a talentless person. After they began to communicate less, she also looked down on him. But then, some unknown sounds are heard in the cave, which immediately attract his attention. It turns out that these are people, and not just people, but also a sister. The dungeon, of course, is located next to the village, but why is it here? He needs to leave as soon as possible. The girl herself is in the team that makes potions. They must have had a purpose for coming here, as people's lives depend on it. But as soon as they hear the sound of the ghoul's claw, the party becomes preoccupied. As soon as they respond, believing it to be a monster, Carmea fires an ice arrow. He is wounded by one of the shards in the shoulder, rendering him helpless to flee, and the group finds him. Lena, Reline, Derek, Dean, and his sister make up the gang. The latter advises engaging in reasonable attack while also combining it with defense in the event of a monster attack. The guy needs to somehow divert them so he can go away swiftly. However, this is impossible because Dean and Lena are approaching him so quickly. There is an enormous variation in levels that is immediately apparent. It appears that a battle will not be avoidable. Derek is obviously astonished when the man swings the sword again while using his fire talent, and Chrome manages to hit the weapon with a stone. This gives the main character time to attack, and he does so by dealing a few punches with his claws. Then he turns around and bolts for the door. Reline rushes after him despite the fact that it is unsafe for them to pursue him. She'll be able to deliver him too many rapid punches if you don't come up with something soon. He turns around and nimbly seizes her blade for that reason. The startled girl did not even have a chance to regain her composure when the gun vanishes from her grasp. The protagonist just neglected to mention his sister, who pierces his legs with a storm of ice spears, causing the body to limply collapse. And with that, folks, today's adventure comes to an end. But fear not, for there's more excitement to come. So, don't forget to spread the word, give us a thumbs up, and hit that subscribe button for the next thrilling installment.